Alright, guys, welcome back to our Crypto Talks. So, today let's talk about Ondo. If you've been watching the RW narrative cook for a while, I guess you know who is leading the charge. This is the one. So, Ondo Finance is basically turning Wall Street into on chain Lego. Real world assets, tokenized, tradable 24/7, and actually generating yield. And with everything happening recently, from the ETF filings to billion-dollar integrations, I seriously think Ondo is one of the highest conviction plays for 2025. So let's break all the alpha down. So Ondo is the native token of Ondo Finance, which is a protocol that's all about bridging TradFi and DeFi through tokenized real-world assets. Think of the US Treasuries, government bonds, equities, but as digital tokens that live on chain, which are tradable 24/7 and which actually yield, right? So they've got three flagship products: the USDY, OUSG, and the Ondo Global Markets. So the USDY is basically a tokenized node backed by short-term US treasuries with approx 5% APY. The OUSG is the tokenized government securities, and the Ondo Global Markets, which are literally building out of trading rails for tokenized stocks, funds, and more. So basically, they're putting your Fidelity account on chain. So if we look at their stats right now, as of July 2025, as of 27th July 2025 to be precise, let's look at Ondo's market cap, which is sitting at $2.6 billion, and the TVL is over 1.34 billion locked, which is not just speculative DeFi yield farming, that's real world capital in tokenized treasuries, which is moving on chain. And that number has been climbing rapidly all years. So now, why 2025 specifically? Because if I talk about 2025 has been, no short of wild for Ondo, because in just the past few months, Mastercard has added Ondo to their multi-token network. Yes, there's real TradFi adoption right here. Then you've got BlackRock, JPMorgan, and Chainlink who have integrated with their treasury products. Then you've got the USDY, which has expanded to the same network recently, and then Alchemy Pay has also added fiat on-ramps for it. And just this month, the BNB chain joined their global markets platform. But the biggest one came out around 22nd July when 21 shares filed for an Ondo ETF. Yes, a spot ETF holding the Ondo token directly, and that is massive. Price spiked around 8%, the volume jumped around 15-16%, and that's just off of filing. Later on, the markets cooled off, but the news still remains. And this isn't just small protocol stuff. This is actually a team building, like, it's future, it's 2030, what, something like that. And now moving on to what makes Ondo so legit is that they're not relying on hype, tokens, or inflationary rewards. They're actually built around real utility and compliance. And the markets are rewarding it. Like we're talking, it's backed by Pantera, Founders Fund, Coinbase Ventures. They have acquired OSS Pro, which is a regulated broker dealer. It means that they now have actual US securities licenses, and they're also building their own Ondo chain to scale tokenized RWAs properly. And that whole tokenized stocks will dominate in 2025 thing, yes, they're the ones saying it and actually building rails for it. So moving on, right now Ondo is trading around $1, $1.02, and it's up 50% in the last 30 days, and the technicals are heating up too. We've got the RSI is low, the social buzz is through the roof, and some analysts are calling for $2 to $3 within months if the ETF gets approved. More aggressive targets are somewhere around $5 to $8 if the bull market really rips. But even at these levels, the growth fundamentals are still ahead of the price. That's what I feel. Risks, yes, of course, it's not all sunshine. Ondo's a hot asset right now, so short term it might be a bit overbought. There's always risk with regulatory delays, especially around tokenized stocks, as we all know. But honestly, that's what makes it interesting, because unlike most altcoins, Ondo, I feel, is actually, it does make sense in a bear market too, because it's tied to real world yield. 5% on the USDY is actually better than, most savings account right now. So that's how you know why I am bullish on Ondo, because Ondo is one of the few projects that checks all the boxes, like real utility, yes; institutional adoption, yes; regulatory alignment, yes; actual product market fit, yes. And now with the ETF buzz expanding to chains like BNB and SEI, I feel tokenized equities are rolling out, and it's starting to look less like a DeFi token and more like a decentralized investment bank, if that makes sense. So yeah, if you're looking for something with real world traction, institutional support, and the kind of narrative that TradFi and crypto both understand, Ondo is worth watching. I'm not saying ape in, but I am saying pay attention. Let me know in the chat or comments, are you holding Ondo? Do you think it's gonna hit $5 this cycle, or are you still skeptical of RWAs? So smash that like button if you learned something, and subscribe if you are here for the high signal chill talk. and I'll catch you in the next one. Till then, bye bye.